Hi everybody, my name is Anthony Trucks with Trucks Training. This video I'm about to give you guys information, something's probably been a long time coming. So I'm going to pose a question to you. I want you guys to look at one concept because it's going to make sense as I progress to the rest of this little speech, but it's technically, I haven't tell you, it's primarily for coaches below the collegiate level. So here's the question for you. What is the difference between, say, a City League team of, let's say, soccer players and, say, Team USA men's, women's? If you are thinking in your head, can't figure it out, I'll give the answer. They are better overall athletes. They are faster, they are stronger, they're more mentally tuned. They have developed their bodies over time consistently. Whereas most people probably play City League, they have a regular job, they do something else, they come play for fun. Those people's jobs are to train. Speed, strength, agility, train for their sport all day long to compete. So the question I want to pose to you guys is, as below collegiate levels, what do you guys perceive to happen above the high school youth level? Because what I typically see is people say, oh, I don't need the strength training. I don't need that. My kid's got good foot skills, or you know, my daughter, whatever it may be, which makes sense. But the truth of the matter is, when you get to the collegiate or you get to the professional level of baseball, basketball, soccer, tennis, badminton, doesn't matter what it is, you are going to be training with somebody who is not your fundamental coach. What I mean by this primarily is there's a strength coach, a person who went to school and learns every day, and when they get up in the morning, they're doing strength coach position jobs. When they go to sleep at night, they just got done doing a job of fully all just strength coach stuff, and they get up and repeat it every single day. They may not know how to kick a soccer ball, shoot a basketball, swing a bat, throw a football, but they know how to develop the body so that what takes place is this athlete that I want to have go back to that coach is a better athlete. So for me, I get in this realm of where some coaches look at me as kind of like in their way, almost like I would say kind of like a hindrance to their athlete's ability to grow. I find primarily it's an ego thing. I don't want anybody else to come in and do something. It's a horrible thing, and I tell you right now, you're hurting your athletes. This is why. At the end of the day, if you think you can do everything, and you do try to do everything, in the nature of anything somebody does, where they do everything, you do a lot of stuff poorly. Me and what Anthony Trucks does, what Trucks Training does, is we step in and say our niche. What we choose to do is develop athletes' physical traits. We're not going to teach anybody to kick a soccer ball, swing a baseball bat for the most part. We're not teaching you to shoot a basketball. We're not teaching you the fundamentals of the sport. We are teaching this body to adhere to movements better, how to change direction better, how to jump higher, how to run faster. And I don't simply mean running them all day long. It's when I run biomechanics of movement for the lower body, for upper body, how to come in and out of breaks, how to make your body be able to be finer tuned to your brain to where you can control it better. So for us, we have a lot of coaches that think, they're in competition with what we do, because I got a coach that goes to the park and he does the same things. Anybody can take you to the court, to the field, anywhere, and run you around cones. Anybody can say, run 4 miles and get you tired. That is so far different than getting you better. Better isn't simply saying I want that same weak, a non-explosive, uncoordinated athlete that can run for days and days and days. If I'm a coach, I want a strong, fast, explosive, mentally dominant athlete, and then have that athlete run for days and days and days. The step back and difference is where I took the athlete and ran that same athlete for days. On our side, where Trucks Training is, we develop athletes. Multiple phases of progression from strength to power to developing motion and movement, and making sure it goes from the weight room or the strength area into the field of play. So if I'm going to take them from the weight room and teach them motion, I want it to show up on the field. I want them to have long range of motion, how they move and how they run. Great strength, great mechanics, great efficiency of motion and movement, which is taught. And you cannot teach something if you don't know it. So for us, we study these things so that we know them. So when we step back, any mom, dad, coach, anybody can ask, hey, why did you do that, or why? And my goal with all my staff, which we only have a few trainers, a few staff, because I don't want 30 million of them. I want a few that are very good and very fine and very passionate about what we choose to do, and then they can answer any question that's posed to us. Hey, why did you go 10 yards? Why is the rest 30 seconds? Why is their foot going that direction? Hey, this kid right here has a problem in this area. What do you think could be the issue with their body? We can step in and teach and show those things to progress so that now, if I got a coach that says, hey, I want my guy to go out and hit 100 balls. Well, if he only has the strength to get through 50 balls, he's going to have 50 horrible balls that he's going to try and hit. If a basketball player wants to shoot a basketball, he needs 100 shots. If he can only get 50 out of his legs, 50 more suck. What if I could take him in here and make the body so much stronger that it can get all the way through 100 swings of the bat, or 100 shots of a basketball, or 100 kicks on goal? That's what Trucks Training does. So I want to get that out there for the coaches. I'm sure it's going to kind of probably bother some people, but if it bothers you, step back and think about why. Is it something that maybe you don't know, or your ego getting in the way? If your ego's getting in the way, I have nothing negative to say to that, but there's a point in time when I was there too. If I knew everything, I had this big, massive ego. Truth of the matter was, it wasn't until I removed the ego and stepped back and said, hey, what don't I know that I can get better at, and be humble about saying that. At that point, I allowed myself to be a better coach, which allowed me to have better athletes because I could span out and start getting insight from other people to help my players that I have coming in, help the teams that I coach, help the individual athletes I work with, because the goal is them. I want them to be better. I can't play anymore. I have to live vicariously. And if I want to do that, I want the best player going back to their team. For me to do that, I got to make sure I know things from branching out and getting different things done. So for Trucks Training, we have never in the time of us doing this been any hindrance on coaches. If anything, we are a great asset. My primary goal is never to down talk any coach and anything they do, simply to say, hey, if we work together, we can make whatever athlete you have better for your team, for your league, and for that kid's future moving forwards. So, thank you again for your time, for watching this video. If you have any questions for me personally, you can reach me at atrucks@truckstraining.com. Thank you again.